Hello, friends. Thank you for joining me. My name's Joel, and this is the O2 Drop. You are listening to your favorite Made for Adults VGC podcast, coming from Perth, the home of Dan,
Hello.
home of Chris.
Hello, world.
This is me. And of
O2
course,
Saddle Club.
the O2 Saddle Club. And we also have Mark in the home of Mark.
Hi, this is my house.
It is your house.
What are you people doing here?
I don't know. We're here once a week for some reason. And we are joined by a superstar guest this evening, one that we've teased for a few weeks now as the discussions have been going. Your 2024 NAIC champion, Patrick Connors. How are you, Pat?
I'm doing good. I wish I was in Mark's home too, but I couldn't make it. But at least I was able to make for the pod.
Absolutely.
Joel, that was a lousy intro. So I wrote a custom intro. So Pat, are you a wrestling fan by any chance?
So I guess little background for me. I used to be a competitive wrestler, but not like WWE. I did folk and freestyle. It's like, are you talking about like WWE, like entertainment wrestling, or like actual wrestling?
That's a very fair question. And
Yeah.
I am talking about the bullshit TV wrestling. This intro would
Okay.
have...
You know what? I'm not, but I respect it. So whatever you guys want to do with that sounds good to me.
This intro would have gone harder because originally we were going to have you on the week before NAIC. So this was going to be the intro.
Yeah.
And now, introducing from Orlando, Florida, the reigning, defending, undisputed Pokemon VGC Masters North American International Heavyweight Champion, the con man, Patrick Connors.
You know what? I think I made a mistake.
That could have been so good. It would have been so
That was
relevant.
good. I liked your American accent. That was
I don't know why I put the American accent on. It just happened.
It just happens
I
so
would have listened to
naturally.
Pat talk for 30 seconds.
They like must mimic.
Now, before we get into Pokemon, so you used to do, is it Falcon Wrestling? Is that the college sport one?
No, so Americans have to make everything about themselves. So we have Olympic wrestling is broken up into like either Greco-Roman or freestyle wrestling. Both have different rule sets, but like in American high schools and like as well as in colleges, they wrestle something called folk wrestling, like FOLK, like the music genre.
Yeah.
And and it just has some like peculiar rules, like certain types of like mat returns, like suplexes are banned, and it's just like again an American way of making something that's already fine, its own little thing. So yeah, it's just a specific style of wrestling. But yeah, I used to compete in that. I wasn't as good at wrestling as I was other sports, but I do still follow the sport, at least when the Olympics come up. But Americans suck at wrestling. I guess there's like that really good heavyweight, I think Gable, but other than him, like all Americans suck at wrestling. It's usually like someone from either like East Europe or the Middle East that usually does really well in wrestling.
Incredibly, Pat. So we've got some subscribers, and when we announced we're getting a guest on, they would submit questions to ask the guest. Some of them are pretty deranged, but this one is crazy relevant. So I think they're talking about WWE style. So bear with us for a second. But the question is, if you were a professional wrestler, what would your name and finishing move be?
Oh my God, that is a hard one to like just get thrown on you. I'll have to sit on that.
Well, we can always
That'd be like the end of the podcast question.
Okay.
All right. You've got like an hour to think about it.
Okay, cool.
Nice. Crazy that WWE / just wrestling in general comes full circle again for us. Now, Pat, as we do with all of our guests, we would love to find out how you got introduced to Pokemon as a franchise for the first time.
Yeah, so I was the middle child of 5, and like any younger sibling, you want to get into like your older siblings' hobbies. So Pokemon as a franchise was kind of imposed onto me by my older siblings. Like they were like 90s kids. They had red and blue, and they played gold and silver. Like they grew up with Pokemon. So I saw my older siblings playing, so I picked up the games like they did. I got a Game Boy and played. I think my first game was Leaf Green before I could even read. I was like, I think 3 or 4 at the time.
Nice.
And I basically just played the series casually since then. So that was my start, just trying to, like any younger sibling want to spend time with their older siblings and try to pick up their hobbies. So that was Pokemon for me.
That's awesome. And then how did that convert into being introduced into the video game championship?
Yeah, totally. So I guess, full circle with wrestling and sports as well as Pokemon. Once I finished high school, I was considering either going to college to play American football or just go for academics. COVID made the decision a lot easier for me because I was like, oh, well, I don't want to have to deal with all of the kind of struggles with COVID alongside trying to, be a college athlete. So I just decided to go to school, focus on academics. And whenever I went to school, I realized I was really bored. I really wanted like a competitive outlet. So like around 2021-ish, I decided to pick up like just watching Pokemon casually and like trying to play some Showdown, ladder some, but I never took it that seriously. I just kind of had it as like this little thing that I do occasionally. Like I'd watch Wolfie and Aaron videos and I'd ladder on the Sword and Shield ladder some, but I didn't really participate in tournaments. But in 2023, I think it might have been 22. No, it was 22. We were going to have a Orlando regionals in 2022. I was really hyped. So I started doing tournaments, and I think it was like the Series 12 format in Sword and Shield. Started doing some online tournaments back then. I had a few decent like online results. Then in 2022, the Orlando Regionals was canceled because Orlando didn't want to abide by Pokemon's COVID regulations. So we got our event canceled. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I have to wait another year for a regional. And then I got my official start competing in 2023 in Orlando Regionals.
Nice. That is a very quick turnaround between first regionals and international champion.
Just a bit, just a little short journey.
What being bored does to a motherfucker.
Now, before we move on to favorite Pokemon, so you've done wrestling and American football. Any other sports in high school? Because that's a lot already.
Yeah, I still do this to this day just for fun, but I also do powerlifting, which I also did in high school.
But
that's like a very easy sport to continue.
What's your bench, squat, and dead currently?
We have to convert this. Hold on, let's get a calculator.
Currently,
well, we just need those plates.
Yeah.
If you give us plates plus change, we'll know what's happening.
I just forget. Like, I'm usually pretty good about kilo amounts. I think my bench is right. I actually hit this yesterday, but it was tying for my max. I attempted a new max yesterday. I failed sadly, but bench is 385 pounds, which I think is like 170 kilos around there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
And then squat is 550 pounds, which I forget how many kilos that is. It's a little over 200 kilos. I think like 215 or something.
Yeah. So 175 bench, 250 squat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then for deadlift, my max deadlift is about 575, so just a little bit more than my squat.
Damn.
God damn.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Is that like double what you guys can do?
Yeah, that's powerlifting.
Yeah, I only ever got to a 150 squat and a 155 dead, and then I played baseball through all of my like high school and college, so my shoulders cooked. So like my max bench is still 75.
That isn't bad though, especially like, I mean, if you're playing baseball, it's not like you're playing a physical or a power sport, so it's like, I mean, that's good. It's functional, right? That's definitely more than like the average person can do.
For sure.
I'm a big boy.
Well, what's your numbers, Dan? You hit like a 180 squat recently, didn't you?
I hit a 190 squat recently.
190,
Yeah. So I hit the 1,000-pound club. It was 105 kilo bench, 190 squat, 160 deadlift
Huge.
in
Oh, hell yeah.
Australian units.
Yeah. and Pat's got the 1,000-pound in 2 lifts.
Yeah, Jesus. He's gone with 1,000 kilo club.
That is awesome. I love it. And back onto Pokemon, what we're here for.
Obviously, his favorite Pokemon's like, I don't know, Machoke. What's the powerlift Pokemon?
It's got to be Machamp, right? What is your favorite Pokemon, Pat?
So I've had like a running bit that I just tell people it's Urshifu, just to be contrarian.
Just
But
to make everyone
I do
angry.
sincerely love Urshifu's design. Yeah, but like if I'm being completely honest, it's probably Reuniclus. And like that whole line, but that's just like I guess a little disclaimer. The main reason I got into VGC is I saw Collinsville regionals. And at that regionals, I think Wolf got second place with Reuniclus and Liepard, and Reuniclus, like I said, is one of my favorite Pokemon. So I was like, oh wow, something I like is good, and I've never used Reuniclus, but it's just a casual Pokemon I really like, and it's also part of the reason I got into VGC.
That's really cool.
That is cool.
Nice. Well, onto the big things.
Well, what about favorite competitive Pokemon?
Well, I mean, it's got to be Urshifu.
It is 100% Urshifu. Absolutely.
Is that Rapid Strike?
Oh yeah, I've never used single strike. I think like at all. I've tested it maybe 3 or 4 games.
Love
I
that.
like Mad knows what he likes.
It's like all one best of 3 set. No, I've had enough.
Actually, rapid for me, please. Now, Pat, you are the 2024 North American International Champion for VGC in the Masters division. My personal take, one of the best interviews ever given by any winner. I believe the line that you gave was something along the lines of, I am excellent in the presence of excellent people. Just giving massive kudos to everyone around your side. What was it like being thrust so quickly into the limelight at NAIC back in 2024?
It was both really awesome and really horrible. I'm not one for bravado or like having a big personality. I'm pretty laid back. I like to kind of, just play my game, have a good time. And it was a really big adjustment for me to like accept kind of this kind of public personality that I have to have now where, I go to events and I'm going to have dozens of people talk to me and be like, oh, you're Patrick. Can I get a photo or can I just talk to you? And that was really odd for me, especially like coming from, the other side where it's like I was, that tournament talking to players that I like met that day that I was like huge fans of and being like, oh, I'm a fan, and then I ended up playing them later that day and beating them, it was a really weird experience to have. And I think I dealt with a lot of imposter syndrome, like, oh, this was an accident. This was like a fluke. I shouldn't be here. But that kind of dissipated eventually, after a few more events and kind of getting grounded again. I'm really grateful for what happened. Like, obviously I made my first Worlds that way. That was like a Hail Mary Worlds. And I got to meet a lot of really awesome people through that event. And I still stand by that to this day. I do believe that I am just a normal person surrounded by excellent people, and excellence rubs off. So if you surround yourself by the right people, you can't help but be better.
Speaking of having like excellent people around you, so it was very touching how your like family found out that you were going to be in the final and like traveled to New Orleans like to see you play in the final. Like, I don't know if you knew they were coming or not, so tell us that as well. But also, like, what was it like having your family watching you play the final, and did your family come to NAIC this year?
Okay, so I guess little recap on that whole story. I didn't know that they were there until I won, and then I looked out and I saw my dad, having a moment and running up on stage to give me a hug. I was very confused. I thought I was like hallucinating. I was like, oh no, I had a mental breakdown. I must have like lost in game 2. But yeah, no, I had no idea. It was coordinated by one of my best friends and my family. They like, I think in Top Cut, they were like, my dad was like, oh, I think he's going to win out. Like, I know Pat, I know he's good under pressure. I believe in him. So I think once I got Top Cut and my friend told him that I got Top Cut, he started driving from Florida to New Orleans. It's like a I think a 12-hour drive.
Wow.
Damn.
But they decided to start making. Yeah, they started making the drive. Him and my little siblings and my stepmom all started heading up there. And I had no idea. I had no idea they were going to be there. We kind of talked about it afterwards. I guess, like I said, I'm not one for like, bravado or kind of being in the spotlight, but I love my dad, but he's definitely a much more like bold and boisterous personality. So like he definitely does not half commit to things. So he was like, oh, I think he's going to make it. I'm going to drive up there. So he started driving up there. He was right. I made it to finals. They ended up getting a hotel that night. Like I said, they coordinated with my friend. He didn't want to tell me just because he knew it would make me nervous, add pressure on me. So I didn't know anything about them being there. I knew they were going to be watching from home because I already sent them the link and told them when I was going to be playing and things like that. But they did a really good job of fooling me.
Yeah.
I never once saw them in the audience or anything. So yeah, it was just a really big surprise. It was a really pleasant surprise. And after that, I was like, wow, this whole hobby's come full circle because that was the first event they'd ever attended. Not that they didn't know I was going to events and they weren't supporting me, but it was a really surreal experience. It was like, oh, I didn't just win. I won with almost everyone that I love present. So that was really great. And I still really appreciate that to this day. Sadly, at this NAIC this year, they couldn't come, but they had a good reason. My little brother, who also plays sports, had to get a reconstructive knee surgery.
Ooh.
So he's at risk of clotting if he travels for a certain amount of hours sitting down.
Yeah.
So he just couldn't come. So yeah, totally understandable reason. But yeah, they couldn't make it this year. But they still watched and supported me throughout. On my stream match, they were texting me afterwards, telling me they all watched. And they know how to use RK9 now. They're able to keep track of my rounds. Yeah, so they're always supporting me. They're always great about that. And every event I go to, they support me. Fun fact, I did really well at Atlanta Regionals. I got top 32, and they also started driving up there for that, but I fumbled this time. So they definitely have that same impulsive, spontaneous attitude about coming to support me, but I appreciate it. I love them. I wouldn't change them.
You set the bar really high for the first one they attended as well, and I see that you won.
I know. I can't. I should have set the bar lower. Got top 8 or something. No expectations then.
I would have cried if my family just rocked up and I just won on stage and turned over and my dad was there cheering me on. My dad probably doesn't even know that I play competitive Pokemon. He lives in the other side of the country, but just thought imagine it's in Australia is quite the cities are quite far apart. I guess the closest equivalent would be driving Melbourne to Sydney. Is that probably do that in a day.
Probably Adelaide to Melbourne.
Yeah,
but it's about 5 hours to the Victoria, South Australia.
I can't imagine anyone's families in this podcast group driving a day to get to see their child play Pokemon. But it's a wild story. But it was very touching. Even just watching it on YouTube at the time.
It's crazy to hear that you didn't know that they were there because I'm pretty confident the parents of the Masters were interviewed off the side of the stage while we're getting prepped. So probably just provides some sense of scale of how big that event actually is, that you could be on camera seeing the Masters final getting set up and then them just having no idea where the cameras are pointed and who's where and whatnot.
Yeah, so there's a whole collusion going on. So backstage, obviously Aurelian and their mom were sitting backstage, and I was sitting there with my best friend just waiting for the event to start. But they had us somewhere, I didn't even think about it at the time, but they had us away from where you could see the TVs. You could see the side TVs. All you could see were the games being played. So it was a little suspicious, but I didn't really think much of it.
Yeah.
Like I said, my best friend, he coordinated all of these different people. He told everyone backstage, keep this a secret from me. And then again, my family was directed by people that they were running the show, the TPCI staff, but they were never allowed backstage. So if you ever rewatch it, you'll notice all the interviews are done wide out in the open, but they're also way back from the stage compared to what they usually do.
Yeah.
So you'll see that they definitely kept distance. They also made sure that I didn't see the TVs, and I didn't, like I said, I wasn't something I really considered was a possibility. So it never even crossed my mind that they could be there. Because I was so focused on the game. I don't think I thought about anything but that game that day. But that's just how I tend to be. I'm pretty singularly focused. So I think I'm probably the easiest person to fool when it comes to something like that.
Look, that is big love to the friend who organized that for you. That's that's a lot of love going out to you there, making sure that happened and knowing the way you would react to knowing that they're there and keeping it all secret. That's pretty awesome.
Big love from the production as well.
Yeah.
Like to go that extra step just to keep this surprise for you. That's sick.
Yeah, it was super surreal.
I know this is over a year now ago, so I know it's probably going to be a bit hazy, some of the memory of your run, but let's talk about the final game first, right? Or do you want to, you've obviously got the stats up, haven't you, Joe? You're going to
No, I haven't got the stats. I brought up the team.
The team?
Just to...
Okay, what was Pat's team?
So Pat had Insin with safety goggles, Terra Ghost, Rillaboom, AV, Terra Normal, Urshifu, Rapid with Choice Scarf and Terra Water, Calyrex Ice with Clear Amulet and Terra Water, Pelipper with Focus Sash, Terra Ghost, and Raging Bolt with Booster Energy, Terra Fairy.
I remember at the time, to me, it was like, oh yeah, that's when I saw the winning team, I was like, oh, it's just like 6 good mons. Like at the time, it didn't seem like anything too spicy. I wanted to ask you about the Pelipper, right? I know that the Pelipper became like a hero from this event. Was it actually a deliberate decision not to bring Pelipper at all, and then third game bring it in like, you know, in the back that third game just to kind of with the wide guard, like just to kind of wall out the end game and win you the game? Was that a whole predetermined strategy, or did it just like kind of flukily happen that way?
Yeah. So I as a player, I think there's different categories of players, and there's different players who kind of approach the game differently. There's a lot of people who are almost like VGC robots, where it's like they have a really good grasp of numbers and probability management and like just like the more, I guess, empirical aspects of the game. But I'm a very big like vibes and conditioning player. I think that like even if we're playing a game that is pretty numbers based, and numbers are really important, there's a huge psychology aspect of Pokemon, and I think that for me at least, I kind of try to profile my opponents before I play them. I'm naturally a friendly person. It's not like an insincere thing, but whenever I talk to people, I try to pick up on like little body habit things or like or different personality traits where I think that like, oh, I think this person will play this way, or I think that this person will make this kind of judgment. And I tend to have a pretty good, I guess it could be instinct or intuition or whatever you want to call it, but I have a good instinct of like how I think people will adjust or what reads I think people will make. And like, I'm not infallible. I get it wrong all the time, but in this specific scenario, I was lucky enough to have a whole day to study my opponent. So I spent a lot of time studying my opponent and watching their habits and the games that I saw from the days before. And something that I very, very clearly noticed is they are as willing to make like aggressive plays and like force their opponent on the back foot as much as I am. And to an extent, they were really good about disrespecting their opponent's options and just making not simple plays, but really straightforward plays that are able to like just immediately punish mistakes, right? So in game 3, I deliberately repeated what I did in game 2, because I was totally okay with losing game 2, because I think sometimes you can lose a game 2 to win a game 3. But I repeated the exact same mistakes that I made in game 2 that lost me that set really decisively. And the only adjustment I made was Pelipper, so I could bait the Terra Starstorm and make it look like that I just panicked under pressure. And instead, I just made them think that I was, crumbling under pressure, and they kind of fell for my bait. And it was a really good, like, just kind of not an automatic win, but as close as it can be sometimes.
It's diabolical.
Look, it was almost a shoo-in, because with all respect in the world to Aurelian, they are the eternal bridesmaid. We've watched them come second or miss out in top 4 so many times. It's almost like coming up against them in the final was almost a lock. But yeah, I do remember watching the final now that you've highlighted it, and that, yeah, they did get locked into Terra Starstorm and then just basically didn't move it for the rest of that game 3 from memory.
And given that, yeah, totally. And then game 2 as well, they kind of revealed something that I knew would happen because they watched a lot of my games, which is they brought their fast mons, and they brought their fast mons because they were worried about Urshifu. Because in day 1 and 2, I think I brought Urshifu to every single set I played. But in finals, I made the deliberate choice to not consider Urshifu for my game plan in game 1 or 2, which was something that a lot of people disagreed with me on because they were like, oh, well, Urshifu is really good into Terrapagos. Why not just bring Urshifu? And I was like, well, if you watch like my stream sets and you watch any other set that I played on like side TVs, like I leaned on Urshifu really heavily to give me a lot of wins. And I remember one of my friends who tested the team before the event said that this was not a Calyrex Ice team. This was an Urshifu team. And to an extent, it's kind of true. I had Rain and double Fake Out and everything to support Urshifu to kind of enable it. So making the conscious decision to forego Urshifu and knowing that Aurelion would respect how good I was with Urshifu, and also just making sure that I was conscious of my mistakes and how to punish like myself for those mistakes. Like, how would I punish myself? And really, I think the best thing to do is just act stupid and act like, you know, you're panicking under pressure and make the plays seem easy for your opponent just to bait them. But again, I think I just tend to be, I find the most fun in this game whenever I'm playing a very psychological game where I feel like I'm having a battle of the minds, you know, having a dick measuring contest to see who's more scared of the other person.
Love it. That is diabolical, though. That's, I mean, it's why you're an IC champion. That process is way deeper thinking than I ever do when I'm playing the game.
Yeah, at that point, it's don't play the game, play the player.
Yeah. I just have a quick question about NAIC 2024 in comparison to 2025. Of course, we remember 2024, we were still doing the really long days. NAIC was 15 rounds into a top 8 with like 9 rounds on day 1, 6 on day, well, would have been 8 on day 2 because it did top 8 and top 4. And now, of course, we have the asymmetric cut with less rounds. Having played a really big IC with that long day down into the modern way that we play the game with asym cut, what feels better to play in at the moment?
I really, really like long days, but I also think that asymmetrical cut's just inherently more fair. I think I enjoy long days because I like seeing players fatigued. If that makes any sense. Like I like facing players that like just seem burnt out because I think there's a certain amount of just kind of unpredictability that you get from playing players after a long day that I don't think we get to experience anymore. Everybody's so like well rested and composed now, which is kind of upsetting because my first event was 10 rounds in day 1 and I kind of missed that, but I definitely think the structure is better now. And for asymmetrical cut, the only thing that I've noticed is I think for me, the only thing that has been like a downside is because you're playing less rounds. I think that luck is slightly more important in this structure. Aside from like resistance being the main form of luck in the longer structure, there's a lot more margin of error in the sense of like, you know, I was able to make cut at 12-3 for NAIC. So I had to win more in order to cut, right? Yeah. But for the current structure, you only have to win, I think, 9 or 10 games, depending on how big the tournament is. Sometimes I think even less if you're going to like a smaller region, like 8 or 7. And that just seems like, you know, you can get really quickly shafted early if you get like 3 losses. Like this NAIC this year, almost every one of my losses came down to like a speed tie or a critical hit. So that was like a bit frustrating, and I didn't really have like the extra rounds to kind of buffer those. But yeah, I think that there's a little bit more luck in this format, and I think they announced that they're going to do Swiss asymmetrical +1 next year, which I think could be a really, really good middle ground where you have a few more, you know, sets of Swiss to where you actually get to have a little bit more buffer in terms of like you have to win a little bit more to make cut, and then at the same time you have the more fair system where nobody's missing cut on resistance. So I think that next year will be like the better middle ground, but I think both are good. I'm not one to complain. If it's the rules of the game, then you just play the game, right? And if you lose, then you don't deserve to make cut.
I can't remember if the math gives it like a hard cap at 16 or 32 for +1, but I do like the idea of +1 just to weed out any X2s that shouldn't be there. Because, yeah, and as you say, like Melbourne this year in Australia was our biggest regional, and that was 8+2 plus cut in Australia. Yeah. So, yeah, you could argue like the winner of Melbourne regionals getting their automatic Worlds invite had to work a lot less hard than somebody getting their invites out of NA and EU, for example.
Yeah, I'm not one to like be like, you know, one invite's less impressive than the other, because I mean, there's plenty of NA players who suck and they would not be able to win an Australian event, and there's a lot of Australian players I know that are as good as any top NA player. They just can't get over here. So yeah, I think maybe it's a little bit less top heavy in Australia and Oceania generally. But you also have to play the Asian players.
Yeah,
so I don't envy that.
We did manage to defend 2 of our invites against Japanese players out of our 3 regionals. And then one of them was a Japanese player who resided in Australia for the season. So we adopted them as a West Australian for the year. But yeah, they'll probably be playing on the Japanese circuit next season.
Pat, if we ever got OCIC back, Oceania International, could we see you come to Australia to compete?
Oh, I would love to. I want to go to Australia generally eventually, but I would love to go to an OCIC. I still haven't went to an EUIC, so that'll probably be the more like urgent one to go to, just considering that London's actually not that bad of a flight from Florida. Like you can get it for a couple $100 if you're good with timing. But yeah, probably after EUIC, if we ever get OCIC back, 100%, I would love to go.
London is what's that, like a 6 or 7 hour flight from Florida?
Yeah, something like that. It's about the same as flying across country, actually.
Yeah,
it's doable.
Basically us to Brisbane.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to 2025, your run in 2024 at NAIC had some great names in there that you went up against, including Michael Zhang, Justin Burns, Antonio Sanchez, Taryn Birdie, and then, of course, Shiliang Tang was your top 8 match. Somebody who a lot of people would say is one of the best builders of the modern era. What can you remember, if anything, from your top 8 in 2024?
Okay, so Shiliang was wearing Wo Qian, AV Kyogre, I think Scarfu. He had a fast Rocky Helmet Ensign. I think he had Grimmsnarl as well, and then
it had Light Clay Grimmsnarl.
I knew it was Double Dark Clay. Yeah. I guess I'm missing the was it no, it wasn't Rillaboom. Was it Rillaboom? No, he didn't have Rillaboom.
No,
what did he have as the 6th?
So he had Grimmsnarl, Light Clay, Ensign Safety Goggles, Wo Qian Leftovers, Kyogre AV, Jugulus Booster, and Rapid Strike Choice Scarf.
Oh, that's right. That's why I forgot. Jugulus was never coming. So that stuff was really interesting. I, at the time, was a bit ahead of most of the Calyrex Ice players, in the sense of, I think every Calyrex Ice player back then ran Terra Fire, and I popularized Terra Water as a Terra type. And the main reason I picked Water was the mirror for the Urshifu and Ice Rider mirror, but also for Kyogre, because I did anticipate there'd be a big Kyogre like uptick. And I 2-0'd Shiliang, and Shiliang didn't have a lot of really good counterplay for me because I basically just led Urshifu and Calyrex Ice, and just played super aggressively. He wasn't really able to check much of what I had, and I also had another tech that wasn't common at the time that was popularized afterwards, which was Scarf Urshifu with coaching. So I think both of those sets, Shiliang led like Incineroar and Kyogre, and I just led my Urshifu and Calyrex Ice. And I just protected coaching, and then was able to Terra Water, and unless they just hit a couple Thunders or had a bunch of Origin Pulses hit, then that Ice Rider was really impossible to remove. And I also was able to cycle and fake out with Rillaboom. And I was really lucky, because I'm pretty sure after the pace released, and I also knew this information from watching Sidestream, but my Rillaboom was exactly 1 speed point faster than his Kyogre. So that really made the game so much easier than it could have been, because I think my Rillaboom was also a little bit faster than all the other Rillabooms at the time, because I wanted to outspeed timid Blood Moon from like people like Rajan's team. So yeah, I just was able to pin with Calyrex Ice, Rillaboom, and Urshifu, and Shielding didn't have any like actually good counterplay. And once it got to the end game of just like Wo-Chien, I was able to just clean it with Raging Bolt plus anything. Because, Wo-Chien, all it could do is Leech Seed. It can't actually get out stall something like Raging Bolt with Booster or Urshifu or Calyrex Ice. So yeah, it wasn't the best that I think Shiliang's played, but I also think that it was a really favorable matchup for me. And yeah, it was a 2-0. It wasn't too complicated of a set. It was actually probably easier than a lot of my day 2 sets just because the matchup was so favorable.
Nice.
Wo-Chien does his best, okay? Leave Wo-Chien alone.
He's there.
Pat, is there like a big after party? Like you win on Championship Sunday and like whatever, and you've won the NAIC, your whole family's there, your dad's hyped up, like is there like everyone goes out to like get drinks afterwards on Bourbon Street, or what happens after NAIC?
Oh my God, I'm such an old man. I went back to my B&B with all of my friends, and we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna go get ready. We're gonna like go do something. I just passed out on the floor for like 3 hours.
That's
fair.
Yeah, they're long days.
At that point, I think everybody was doing like money matches in the Airbnb. They were playing like Reg G money matches.
Yeah.
And I was just sleeping on the floor, like drooling all over the place, and they were all like stepping over me. And yeah, but I think I just ended up picking up like a 6-pack with friends and just kind of chilling out and relaxing, because I was so burnt out.
On winning NAIC, I would love to know more about your Pelipper. So the special event one, how does that work for Stars? Do you get any like say in what mon you want, or they're just like, nah, you get this and we're gonna put your name on it?
Absolutely. I found out when you guys found out. I knew nothing. They didn't ask me anything. They didn't tell me when it was going to be released. As soon as everybody found out, I found out. I mean, I think that's who I wanted it to be. So I'm happy it was Pelipper, but no, Pokemon doesn't communicate with you. They're terrible. They're so slow at everything.
Well, yeah, on that note as well, I thought it was hilarious that then it was flagging hack checks because the OT trash bites weren't matching, and people were like worried at bringing an official event mon to an official event that they might get DQ'd for it.
I brought it to events with like a little bit of me hoping I got DQ'd for my own event mon, but sadly it never happened. Because like I feel like that would have been such a funny like thing to happen. But so as far as I know, no one actually got DQ'd for it.
But I am Patrick Connor. That's my Pelipper.
It's got my name on it.
Yeah, peak professionalism from Pokemon. Of course, they're the only people that can mess up like the only event that I'm probably ever going to get. So yeah, definitely love that for them.
Oh, that's so funny. How many games did you reset to just like fill a box full of the event mons?
Again, I'm lazy. I only did it twice. I just did it in my Scarlet and my Violet copy.
Yeah, fair.
But I mean, that's enough, right?
Yeah.
Too much work to get more.
I mean, we've seen the memes of like people just piling in the Wolfies Incineroars into their homes and stuff. Like, I reset the game 30 times just to like
fill a box
full of Wolfies Incineroars.
People have got too much time on that.
I don't think I have the cold that he does.
Is there, before we move on to your current season, is there any other like fun stories or wild memories or whatever from NAIC 24 worth mentioning?
No, it was honestly like a pretty chill event. I don't think there was anything crazy that happened. Like I didn't have any like huge outbursts. I've had a lot of events where people like will have outbursts just because they're upset about how the games went, but like for the most part, people were pretty normal, which is surprising. Like there weren't any weird like Pokemon players that I ran into. Everyone was pretty, normal, respectful. It was just a good event overall. Nothing really too crazy.
Immaculate vibes.
Nice.
This is a guest question that's relevant because we're talking about the current season now. So the question was, have you felt more pressure to do well this season at events because of your win at NIC last season?
The answer is yes and no. For the early part of the season, absolutely. Like in 2024, the 2 events that I attended in 2024, I guess including Worlds, every single one of them was an X3. So I went 4-3 at Worlds, 5-3 at Louisville, and then 5-3 at LAIC. So like every single one of those events, I like floundered, and I think a lot of the reason why, alongside other factors, because I think every single one of those events on Showdown, I had like at least one account in top 10, and for LAIC, I had 2 accounts at the same time in top 10.
Huge.
On Showdown. I think the teams were good. I think my play was fine, but I definitely just played super poorly at moments when I normally wouldn't play poorly, because I had like that like kind of intrusive thought in the back of my head, like you should be winning, like you should be doing better, you shouldn't like lose, you shouldn't be going to a game 3. And those like intrusive thoughts were really, really bad after winning. Like at Worlds it was bad, at Louisville, at LAIC they were bad, and I kind of just had to take a little bit of a break. I think I took like 3 or 4 months off Pokemon before I came back, and just when I came back I was like, wait, why do I care? I'm just good. And then
Just good.
I after that I got a top 4. So
Yeah, that was a San Juan special event.
Yeah. Yep, at San Juan. And then after that, I got 2 day 2s back to back, and that kind of clinched my World's invite. But
Yeah, you did well in our
I think I started. Yeah, I did do well. It's just it was a small event, so it's easier to get points at a small event. But yeah, I just think into 2025 have a way better attitude. I've gotten 3 day 2s out of the 3 I've attempted. I'm enjoying playing the game again, which I wasn't doing after NAIC because I felt like I had to play. And I feel like I'm just back to normal. Like I think I'm over myself, and I think that if I was to win something again, which that's always the goal, right? I think I'd handle it way better this time, just because I think I'm over that kind of psychological hump I was dealing with. But yeah, no, there's pressure, but you also have to like kind of do a little bit of self-reflecting and ask yourself, like, why are you putting pressure on yourself for this hobby that you love? It's like, this is a good time. This is a fun time to go like hang out with friends and just play a game that we love. So don't stress so much. Just play your game and you're going to win. You'll be fine. And that's what I told myself. And it's worked out. I'm there for the good vibes and the good games.
Nice. Now you did mention that you secured your 2025 Worlds invite. 72nd place on the NA board, I believe. Obviously, at time of recording,
I think it was 70. Am I still there? I thought it was 72 before the event.
I'm not. I took this from what was it? Victory Road yesterday.
Okay.
So unless Victory Road is wrong, which they could be.
Yeah, I don't think they're in order.
Fair.
So I want to say I'm like in the 50s, but it's not a big deal. It's like I'm pretty sure I'm in the 50s somewhere.
Okay, so 50 somewhere for NA regional. NA region, sorry. Secured your invite for 2nd year in a row. At time of recording, we're on the 15th of July, so basically a month out from Worlds. What is prep looking like currently for Worlds?
So for the most part, I'm just kind of taking it slow, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. You don't want your team a month ahead. You want it like a week ahead. And you can learn the team. If you're a good player, you can learn a team pretty quick. But I've just been testing just the cores that I like and the concepts that I think are good. Even if I don't have a team right now, for the laddering that I'm doing well. I hit a account in top 20 this week on an alt account, and I'm doing like good in testing. But something that big mistake I made last year at Worlds was becoming like married to a team really early on, and just thinking like this would be good no matter what. I just need to get really good with like how I play it, and it'll be fine, which was a terrible mistake. You can't do that for Worlds, because whenever you're playing players that are as good as they are at Worlds, especially with this Worlds where only the top of the top players are going to be going, you've really got to make sure that you can get every advantage you can over these players. So just making sure that I take enough time to practice and learn like what's good right now for what archetypes, and also taking time to try to make some riskier building calls and understand like if I'm going to go to Worlds, I can't play it safe. Like I can play somewhat safe, right? You use good Pokemon because they're good, but taking some risks will be 100% rewarded. And I can't use something that, every single top player's played before, because, if you're all good, then, the knowledge game is gonna, create the difference.
They've already flowcharted your team if it's one of those like really common teams. What?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you went 8-4, I think, at this year's NAIC. You got you think you were the highest rated 8-4. Is that number right? Or 8-3? What was it? What was your record at NAIC?
Yeah, it was 8-4. I was I think I was 68th place, so right outside the top 64. And yeah, I had super high res. I think 2 events in a row had the highest resistance of any player. So Pokemon is not being very kind with who they're pairing me against.
Yeah, they're against you. Did you learn a lot from that event? Were you happy with your team? Have you thrown that team in the bin and started again? Is there some things you liked that you're going to sort of use in your preparation for Worlds?
Yeah, totally. I really loved the team. I think the team was super good. The only downside of the team was I had multiple Pokemon that all have similar speed stats, so there's some ambiguity there. And I for instance, I had Chien-Pao on that team, and I had max speed Jolly Chien-Pao. The pace is public, so it's not like it's something I'm trying to hide. But I had Jolly max speed Chien-Pao, and I lost a game 3 against Justin Tang to a Miraidon Chien-Pao 1v1, and he was also timid max speed Miraidon. So that speed tie cost me a set. I lost to a T-Bolt crit on a Raging Bolt on my Ensign, who's a specially defensive Ensign, in a game against Maddie Morgan. And I had a lot of luck in that event that I typically think I'm a pretty lucky player. And the last 2 events that I went to, Atlanta and NAIC, were not as lucky for me. But saying that is also really reassuring, because even though I had unluckier events and I had a couple sets come down to oh, I got bad sleep turns, or I got a speed tie loss, or I lost to a crit. It's really reassuring to lose to those things against also top players, and still do well, right? So it's even though I lost to some really good players and luck was a huge factor, it wasn't the entire factor, obviously. I could have played better and avoided those positions. But winning and doing really decently with that high of res and bad luck is really, really reassuring for Worlds. I feel super good going in, and I know I'm overly confident. I think I could beat anybody and win any event as long as I have decent luck and I play as good as I can play. So I feel really good going into Worlds. Hopefully, the bad luck's off of me, and I do good at the event that I want to do good at. But yeah, no, they were really good events. I'm very proud of them. And the team itself was really, really good. I love the team. It was the only time I've ever actually enjoyed using Miraidon. So that was a nice feeling to actually learn how to like that Pokemon. And I definitely have certain things from that team that I'm carrying over. But again, I'm not married to anything yet. I'm not committed to any sort of team. What I use from that team or what I take from that team is kind of in the air. I think the only thing that I'm 100% taking from that team is the duo of Miraidon and Ice Rider. But what that looks like is, like I said, completely up in the air.
Yeah, Bolt Beam Speed Sandwich.
Mr. Plow.
Yeah, we call it Mr. Plow, but the Americans call it the Bolt Beam Speed Sandwich. So with those speed ties, and there's so many Pokemon that are that 135 speed tier, when I've been running at the regionals I went to recently, I had Adamant Chen-Pao, and I was expecting to be outsped by all those same in the bracket. So I was playing according I was going to be slower, and my Miraidon was modest. Is that something that you would recommend? How would you cope with those speed ties? Would you recommend going guaranteed slower and playing accordingly, or go for the speed tie and just hope you win the speed tie on the day?
To be honest with you, I didn't expect any Miraidon to be timid max speed. And that was a big surprise. That's why I ran Jolly. I was if I lose to a speed tie, then it probably won't cost me the set, right? And it's going to be one player maybe, but I couldn't have been more wrong, But yeah, no, I think it just depends on the type of team you have, right? For my team, I think Jolly was 100% the right case choice, because my Miraidon was super slow and I needed something to hit other fast Miraidon aside from treads. So I think the speed was really, really important on Chien-Pao. And I didn't really need Adamant for anything because I had Ruination on my Chien-Pao. So most of the time I didn't really need the extra attack boost because I was just clicking Ruination. So yeah, the speed was just more important for my specific set, but I also think that there's a lot of value in going slow sometimes just to know you're always slower. Especially like, I mean, I'm on Trick Room, right? I've almost every event I've ever been to, I've ran Trick Room. And, you know, being able to know that you're always slower than something is really, really valuable, especially on faster Pokemon. Like if you're playing an Ice Rider Miraidon set and you want to set up, you know, Trick Room, then it's really nice to know that your Miraidon's not that fast and you could actually use it under Trick Room against the faster things like Zamazenta, or, you know, Shatterat or other things. So I think it just depends on the team, but there's a lot of value in going slower on fast things.
I think we saw that at the Japanese Nationals. I'm pretty sure there was a Calyrex Shadow player who was like, knew that they were like 2 points slower than the standard Calyrex Shadow Rider, and then they like invested most of their attack into bulk so that they knew that they were always going second and knew that they could survive like one hit. I can't remember if they were like AV or whatever, and then get like the return KO.
There's no way you could spec a CSR to survive an Astral Barrage.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but like this guy's, his Calyrex was always going to hit second because he undersped it, and
it's possible they were terrestrializing.
Probably.
Pat, is there is there like a team building group that you have that you're working with for Worlds? Like, is there like some Florida Gator Gang or something?
Did they have a cool name as well? It's most important.
Yeah, the Gator Gang. I gave them the name.
No, I'm terrible. I rarely work with locals. There's only one local player that I've worked with, and it's the same local player that I've worked with since NAIC. Actually, he's like the unsung hero of that team and that building group that we had, which was just us. That NAIC team was just cooked by me and him, which is Landon, which I'm still working with Landon for Worlds. Landon didn't qualify this year, but he's always a huge part of my testing. He plays more games than I do and provides me really good notes. He always provides really good feedback on teams, and he's also kind of my purity tester, because sometimes I can run things that I don't bring to events that are really off the wall and really odd, which I guess people don't see a lot of because I usually do clean it up before events. But usually a good way of like testing teams and telling me, no, this concept's really bad. You're just trying to cook too hard. So he's obviously involved in my team building group. And then there's other players in my team building group that I'm working with that are from across the world, actually, like across time zones. But I don't think I'll reveal just who yet. I'll probably just do like a little post after Worlds and tell people who I'm working with then. But just because it'll be easier to scout if people know who's working together and whatnot.
Yeah,
so,
fair.
but yeah, I've got a group of like 5 or 6 players. We're all on similar teams, like all differing in our own ways, and we're all trying to make the Miraidon and Ice Rider core as strong as possible.
Yeah, for sure. No, because we're obviously none of us 4 here have made Worlds this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you mean, obviously?
Obviously.
I mean, some of us think that CSR can survive an Astral Barrage, but some of us are on with a chance. Thanks very much.
I can't remember what he did at Japanese Nationals, man. I just saw it always.
Japanese Nationals, it was like 140 speed.
Yeah.
That was it. And he just had a lot of bulk.
Yeah. No, so we obviously we're close to some people in WA who have qualified for Worlds this year and last, and we remember, you know, lots of chat happening in our group in the lead up to, from these people just asking for, you know, off the wall mons that they were like testing with and building for. You know, there was like requests for the Terra Normal Ice Riders. I'm pretty sure like somebody was hunting like a Dark Valiant at one point, just like the wild things that they were moving through in 2024. What's the wildest mon that you've considered thus far, or most off the wall mon that's creeped into your testing? If you don't mind leaking a little bit of how your brain works.
I'm not going to bring it, so it's okay. But I tested Alola in Persian.
Hell yeah.
That is cooking.
And the main reason why is like, if you want a dark type that's not weak to like ground and you want something that can outspeed Landorus, still hit the parting shot, has a fast fake out, a faster foul play, and it also has like fur coat for the double defense boost. If you're on like AV, you get like foul play, star roll, U-turn. If you're running AV, you can't run parting shot and then fake out. That's actually like really decent utility, especially I think that thing hits like 119 speed or something. It's really fast. So it can outspeed like, I don't know if it's that fast. I don't remember how fast it is. I
It's about 110.
It's over 100. Yeah, it's about 110.
Quick, someone write this down.
Yeah, I know it's faster than, it's 115. So it's faster than Incarnate by a decent amount. And yeah, it's super like good utility. If it was a lower power format, maybe, but it just dies to everything. So that's not going to happen.
Faster than Tornadus
I
as
always
well.
want it to work. I love the idea, but it just doesn't ever work in practice.
That goofy moon face. You
A
want to see
Alolan
it do
Persian
well.
world champion, imagine.
Pat's Alolan Persian event giveaway event.
Also gets hack check flags.
Pat, are you
American dream.
are you doing any of the Victory Road VR tours?
I have not, because I hate Battlefy.
Fair.
But I don't. Are they done with VR tours? I think I might. I'm finishing up my summer semester of law school, so I have a little bit more time on my hands.
Law
I'm in this little interim period. Yes, I'm in my third year, about to be in my last year of law school. So
Sweet. Do you know what branch of law you're looking to go into?
Yeah, I'm going into criminal law and public defense specifically.
Sweet, that's awesome.
It's good,
So as a state attorney, yeah.
it's good to have a backup career after
but-
Pokemon.
For sure. The less cool career. But yeah, what was I saying? I
We're talking
completely
about
lost track.
Victory Roads and whether there was one left or not.
Oh yeah. I don't know if there's any left. If there is, then I'll play. But I am not a huge fan of doing the Victory Road tournaments because if you want to hide something, you just drop anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like I'm wasting a day of my time to play 6 mediocre rounds of Pokemon or like 8 mediocre rounds of Pokemon, and I'm getting cart practice. But if I just plan on dropping, then I don't feel like playing. So if I intend to play, I intend to like try to play out for the whole thing. And I don't know how willing I am to like play right now because I'm finally somewhere in building where I feel like I have like a team that does resemble the final product of what I will bring to Worlds. So I don't know if I want to reveal everything in my hand right now.
That's fair.
But if there's another VR tour, I'll consider it. But knowing me, I'll probably, skip again because I don't want to have to sit around in my house for 14 hours playing Pokemon.
The reason I ask is because I love finding good Twitter shit posts about Pokemon and bringing it up on the podcast. The last Victory Road event that happened, it must have been earlier this month. The Twitter user, X user, Draxolotl12 went 6-3 at Victory Road with a Seawaddle team. Talking about crazy Pokemons in the team builder before World. So it was Cornerstone Ogerpon, Volcarona, Chenpao, Zamazenta.
It was like Scarf Sawaddle,
Yeah,
right?
it was. Yeah. Groudon, Clemia, and it had Choice Scarf, Chlorophyll. I didn't even know it got Chlorophyll.
I didn't either.
Choice Scarf, Chlorophyll, Seawaddle, Terra Ghost with String Shot, Struggle Bug, Terra Blast, and Electro Web. 6-3. That is so good. The team was called Seawaddled.
Yeah, if I lost to that, then I think I'm giving them my World's qualification. I'll find a way to get it to them. That's crazy.
That's follow-up question.
6-3 is wild.
It is wild. I love it. It's cooking. Follow-up question from that, I guess, would be, what is like the nichest, weirdest Pokemon that you've got CP with in your whole career?
I guess like from a major.
Yeah, wherever.
Yeah, major, locals.
I guess locals counts if it's like you've a cup and you did like, you won a cup or something with it.
We love cooking at locals in WA.
That's all we do.
Do you like that guy that won a cup or something with body press Urshifu? Cooking.
I know I built like a Lugia team that won a cup for a friend, but personally, I think my weirdest thing that I've ever gotten points with at a major would probably have to be either my first Orlando regionals, where I had like this weird semi Dondozo semi like trap and trick room team where I went 8-2. And I got points with loaded dice Brip on it at the time with no rage powder. It was
Shit, yeah.
Protect,
Nice.
loaded dice, bullet seed, sucker punch, and spore. And then in this year, I got points with Water Tauros, and I also helped build a top 8 team with Water Tauros.
Damn.
So that was pretty.
okay.
That was pretty cool.
One of those Taurus is like one of those
And also-
Pokemon that's like you always kind of having your team builder as like a maybe an option, and then you end up ditching it for like Urshifu.
Just Urshifu and Incineroar do its job better.
Yeah.
For sure, but yeah, Water Tauros is definitely the weirdest thing I got points with this season. Maybe Specs Dragapult.
Ooh.
That was also good, but my friend Kerry Diortona overshadowed me with that because I went 5-3 with that team. He went top 8 at Louisville with that team. So definitely more his accomplishment than mine. But we worked on that team together, and I know that specifically the Specs Pult and Taurus were my ideas, and he converted that team to a really good performance, and I also got like 60 points from it. So I didn't get non-zero from it. So I guess probably the Tauros and Specs Dragapult team would be the weirdest one that I can remember off rip.
That's hate.
I have another question for you. This slightly controversial question, maybe, but I wanted your take on it because I know that you know this player and you kind of vouched for him on Twitter at the time. The Milwaukee regionals when Lorenzo Arce got DQ'd on stream for like looking at the crowd too much. You remember that?
Oh yeah, totally. I think
Crazy
everyone was
DQ.
upset.
Can you like? There was a lot of. I mean, I don't know him personally. I'm only going by what I watched on stream and what all the the armchair warriors on Twitter said. I'm interested to see what your take was on it and whether you know any more intel that we don't know because it was just really bizarre at the time.
Yeah, so I talked to Lorenzo about it briefly, and from what he told me, it was just kind of done unilaterally. He wasn't warned or told anything. They were just like, "Oh, you're DQ'd," and that was basically all he got out of it. Luckily, Lorenzo is really, really good, and I think they were top 20 in NA for Worlds qualification or top 15. They were really, really high, and yeah, we built together. He's a friend of mine, and I was definitely really upset about that. But yeah, he handled it really, really well. He put out a support ticket. Pokemon did nothing about it. He asked basically what happened. They didn't really want to tell him. And everything was done really unilaterally. So it was kind of just like, we're Pokemon. We have the authority. We're going to make the executive decision. And that's kind of how it played out. And he couldn't really do anything about it.
It's pretty crazy because a lot of people do this as like sometimes as a side gig, but a lot of people do this like professional Pokemon players. This is money to them. They do they do coaching. They try and win money. They go to Worlds and the sponsorship, whatever. Like being told like, oh no, we're just going to DQ you. We're not going to tell you we're not going to give you any more information. You can't appeal it. This is on your record now forever. Goodbye. Like it's a little bit worrying, really. Like from an esport perspective. I don't know what it's like in other esports, but it doesn't seem right.
It's a weird one for sure. Like as a judge, I can only think that one judge who was there must have been like, there's something going on. And, they could have been wrong about what they saw, but attributed it to somebody who's potentially nervous on stream and just, wanting to dissociate or whatever and just like look away from the game. Like it seems very bizarre. Like I've done stream judging at a regionals and I'm like, I don't know.
Is he going to Worlds, Pat?
Yeah. Lorenzo's going to Worlds. Like I said, he qualified like I think that event he already he went 6-0 I think before they DQ'd him.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So he was going to day 2 that event, but yeah, he's super good. He qualified pretty comfortably. I think he's, like I said, I'm pretty sure he's top 20, 25 NA. So I know he qualified pretty comfortably. But yeah, he's going. And I haven't talked to him about what he's using or anything like that, so I can't have any interesting takes. But he's an exceptionally good team builder. And I'm very excited to see whatever he brings because he has some really, really creative ideas. Like he had that cut earlier this season, I think at Baltimore, with the weird Dondozo Annihilate Dragonite team that was somehow a top 8 team.
I can't wait to see him on stream this year at Worlds with like a little post-it note on his Switch being like, look forward. Just remember to look forward.
I was going to say, I got a great merch idea. You know what they put on horses to make them look forward only? We get one of those for players that can only stare forward at their Switch.
I was about to suggest that you get a Switch with like googly eyes stuck to the top so you have forced to look at it, but then remembered every Pokemon player is autistic and hates making eye contact.
Yeah. They need Subway Surfers above the Switch, so it's perfect.
Or you just do what some esports do and they've got that head knit tube thing that goes over the screen.
Oh, the head sock.
Head sock can only look forward.
Jesus. I've got another subscriber question. Pat, what is your favorite comfort food? I want to start eating like an NAIC champ.
Oh my God, that's great. My favorite food is just eggs, which is a really weird one. And that's kind of my comfort food too. Like if I don't know what to make, and like cook, I just cook eggs, which is like a very boring answer, but I think the reason I like eggs so much is you can make them into so many different things. Like you can scramble them, you can make them like over easy, sunny side, you can make a quiche.
Yeah.
You know, if you're weird, you can make like deviled eggs, you can boil them. Like there's so many ways to eat them. And I have them like every day, even though they're too expensive right now to have many. But yeah, eggs is my answer, which again is a really odd comfort food, but it's mine. That's my truth.
You're not the first American guest that we've had that's told us that eggs is
No, I was about to say, yeah.
That's wild. What?
Yeah,
Who else said that? God, they're a freak.
It was Jody Azzarelli made basically exactly the same point you did when we asked about his favorite foods. And he just started talking about how
That's
good eggs
crazy.
were and how you could have them all different ways. I think his favorite, he said, were tea eggs. Like, you can get from,
the,
like
the
Chinese
Chinese
shops.
tea eggs. Yeah,
I'm with
That
you.
makes sense. Like that's like a soft boiled egg, right? Like where it's like almost like a boiled egg but runny.
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah. I think it's like
Or is that
boiled in
something
broth
else?
or something.
Okay.
I'm with you, Pat.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really good.
When I come home from work, like, and I can't be bothered, I haven't got anything like food prepped for dinner or whatever, and I just want to cook something like for one. I live alone, right? So that sounded really sad. I love living alone. But like, I will honestly just like make a quick omelet, or like if it's scrambled eggs. Maybe if I'm feeling fancy, I might try and poach them. But yeah, like you can have it with so many different things, like some halloumi, some grilled tomatoes, avocado. You can have it, beans or whatever. Like it's just such a versatile thing, and it's your protein as well. And I feel healthy eating eggs. I don't know if I'm usually a bit of chili oil on it, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they improve a lot of dishes as well. Like I just had some, Indomie mee goreng for dinner tonight and just added a fried egg on top.
Oh yeah,
Chef.
well,
I mean, I also added vegetables and chili and chicken and
yeah. When I was in my lifter era before I had a child, it was always like chicken breast, 2 hard-boiled eggs, sweet potato, broccoli, and just like, the eggs were always the best part.
really healthy, powering it down. Were you lifting the same as Pat?
No, no, I was not. I was working towards it. I was trying real hard.
I like this Forrest Gump like story you just told, like you can have them eggs fried, gumbo,
Popcorn, shrimp gumbo.
popcorn, eggs.
Popcorn eggs cooking.
I could see it.
Like quail eggs.
Oh, quail
mini
eggs
ones?
are great.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm kind of, like mini Scotch eggs,
Yeah, yeah.
basically. Cooking.
Literally.
Chef.
Pat, I apologize for this next question. I don't know who submitted this. I've forgotten, but someone wants to know who was your favorite Spider-Man?
Oh my God. Okay, so now we can have opinions.
Oh God, here we go.
So I think it's an easy question for me. I think it's Toby.
Hey, I believe the sub part of that
But-
question was, why is it Toby?
Oh my God. Okay, so the reason it's Toby is because I like Andrew Garfield a lot. I think the movies sucked, and that's not his fault.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think he was a good Spider-Man. Just the movies were bad. Tom Holland isn't a bad Spider-Man. I don't think any of them are bad Spider-Man, but the MCU is too much to keep track of.
Mhm.
And it's just a lot. And also I feel like none of the Spider-Man movies are actually Spider-Man movies. They feel like MCU movies.
Yeah.
Like I remember how like I left the theaters seeing the last like Tom Holland Spider-Man being like, I think it's the last Marvel movie I saw.
Oh wow.
I
I
think
was
same,
super
to be honest.
frustrated because I was like, I don't think he's actually had a movie that was about him yet. Like, it's always about Iron Man or Doctor Strange or someone else. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so frustrated because I think he's a good Peter Parker and a good Spider-Man, but he's never like allowed to actually be that character. He's like always forced to be a part of the MCU. So that's like super frustrating. But Toby's like universe is really self-contained. I think Toby's like enough of a dork to where he could like play Peter Parker efficiently when like Andrew Garfield's too cool to be Peter at times. And I think those movies just in general had some of the best casting for all the side characters as well.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I mean, I love Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin so much.
Mm.
And that helps Tobey Maguire a lot. Like Doc Ock's super good. Even though Spider-Man 3 is a little scuffed, I really like the Sandman character in that movie.
Yeah.
So I think Toby's definitely just like, when you go look at the movies and you look at like him playing the character well, and like you look at the whole like sum of it, I think it's just the most satisfying. Like, I don't feel disappointed when I watch it in any way. I'm just like, oh, this is a comic book movie. I'm happy. But I guess honorable mention to I don't know the guy's name, the Spider-Verse actor. I really enjoy the Miles Spider-Man movies, and I think those are really good. That'd probably be my second favorite.
Oh, I'm blanking on his name.
But
the dude who was professing his love
I
for
don't remember it either.
Haley Seinfeld on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then got shut down. Yeah.
Constantly got
that hurts.
rejected.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy.
I can't help but
remember
notice
his name, but he's really good. I like him.
I can't help but notice, but you didn't mention Topher Grace's Eddie Brock as one of the Toby villains.
Let's keep not mentioning it, I think.
Let's move on.
Well, what do you think about the fact that they took from us the possibility of a fourth Raimi Spider-Man with Bruce Campbell as Mysterio? That was in the works, and then I think apparently it was axed.
I had no idea that was a thing. This is my first time hearing that. But whoever axed that should probably be put under a guillotine. I don't. We needed at least, like, I don't think there ever could have been too many Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. I love those movies so much. I think it's also the last Spider-Man movie I've seen. Like, I've rewatched those like at least once every few years. Like, I'll just turn on the trilogy, watch them, and like I said, never disappointed. They're just good.
Yeah, they're so quotable as well, I reckon.
For sure.
I can't believe we've got this much discourse about eggs and Spider-Man. I thought these questions would be super quick.
These are the important questions.
These are important questions.
Yeah.
My question is, with ZA coming out in October, if you were one of the designers and you could give any Pokemon a Mega Evolution, what would it be?
I feel like it'd have to be something interesting, like a competitive mon. It'd probably be Gothitelle.
Ooh.
Like, I would love to see, like, I love trapping. Or anything that gets a trapping ability, I would be happy with.
Mega
Because but yeah, probably Gothitelle. I love Gothitelle's design as a Pokemon. I love how it plays, and I think that would be a really interesting Mega Evolution. Like, maybe change its typing, give it a little bit more bulk, make like trapping a more viable archetype. That would be nice. I think I could really enjoy that. But other than that, I guess I'm just thinking from a competitive standpoint, like what would be good competitive mons to get megas? They're like kind of good, but not that good. I feel like it'd be cool. I don't think it'll happen, but it'd be cool to have like any of the, like I guess the Baxcalibur line maybe.
Oh,
Like
Baxcalibur
that
would be
Pokemon's
cool.
good, but not good enough. So anything from Scarvi, I would like to see get a Mega Evolution, but I don't think they'll give anything from Scarlet and Violet a Mega Evolution.
Yeah.
But I'd love to be proven wrong.
Just turn Baxcalibur into like Shin Godzilla. Pokemon doing a horror Pokemon accurately would be really cool.
Yeah.
Why not Mega Pelipper?
Wider guard.
Yeah.
Bring back triple
It's already
battles.
perfect.
Already perfect? Yeah, that's fair.
Make a
Already
swift
perfect.
swim. It can set the rain for itself and then mega evolve and double its speed.
And
Mega,
then give it really big biceps like Swampert.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Mega Reuniclus?
Ooh, that would be cool. I just don't know. Like, I don't see what you do with it. Like, you just add more, like,
More jelly.
No,
I
just-
guess
Magic
make the
Bouncer.
embryo bigger, make it like double in size.
no, make it like a cancer cell and just keeps replicating.
It's got like a tumor face growing out of the side of its
Yeah,
face.
it's like-
It's wheezing.
yeah, pretty much.
just call it like Chernobyl form.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's got the elephant's foot ability. Hell yeah.
Pat, have you thought about your wrestling name and wrestling finishing move yet?
Okay, yeah, I got the name.
Ooh,
I got the
okay.
name for sure. It'd be the Fridge.
The Fridge.
That'd be the wrestling name. Because I'm a big dude and I like using ice types. So I was like, oh, the Fridge works.
Yep.
Nice.
The finishing move, I couldn't think of a finishing move name. Like, I think my favorite finishing move is the Batista Bomb.
Okay.
It sounds cool and it looks cool. So but I couldn't think of anything that like sounds as good as that, or like like fits my name, either first or last, into like a cool name. So yeah, I just couldn't think of anything for the finish move. But the fridge, I guess, would be the wrestling name. You guys can brainstorm a finishing move. If you have
You
any
could name
idea
your
of the
finishing
name.
move the icebox.
Yeah, I was-
Absolute
Ooh,
absolute
I
zero.
like that.
Absolute zero. Like the negative 373
the
Kelvin.
icebox, and it's some sort of like submission move.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't been really like submission finishes in a while, have there?
There's a few out there. They're usually like a secondary finish, not the main one. Pat, in this scenario, Pat, are you like Patrick the Fridge Connors, or are you just the Fridge?
I think just go with the fridge. It sounds better, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if your name was like, Pat Connors, you could be like, your finish could be like DEFCON or something like that. What is it, like DEFCON, whatever, like with
PatCon 5.
Such a great user handle.
Yeah, the Fridge. We'll have to
Quick, someone get that
spitball.
handle and sell it to him.
BRB making my 30th showdown all.
There was an NFL player who went by the Fridge.
Yeah.
Jerome Bettis.
There you go. Was he a Seahawk? Is that
No, he was a Steeler.
Steeler? Okay. I remembered some stuff about sport.
That's why we get the Americans on to educate us on American
Football.
things.
Yeah.
Football.
Any others from our subscribers there, Chris?
There was one about like, please tell me how you approach the game and your growth mindset. But you have been talking about that the whole podcast.
I think we've basically covered that. Also, why does that sound like someone who's asking like an alpha male telling them how to like grind their startup?
Wake up.
Tell me about your growth mindset. Yeah, just
Well, I mean, yeah. Like, do you do coaching, Pat?
No, I don't do any coaching. I'm like, I never got coaching. I'm actually kind of anti-coaching a little bit. I think it's good for some people, but I think most people are kind of getting scammed by coaches.
yeah.
At least in my opinion. I think most players should just focus on like just self-reflection, self-evaluation, like watch your games and be hard on yourself, but also understand why you made the decisions that you did. Like, because if you're not like, I think the way I approach like reviewing and practicing and things like that is I'll play a game, I'll watch the game, and I'll basically just ask myself, do I stand by the decisions I made and why did I make those decisions? And if you ask those questions, you're basically going to get the same value out of those like self-reflections that you would for most coaches. Because most coaches just ask themselves those questions and then they tell you the answer that they think is like correct, or they give you guidance that you could probably figure out on your own. Also, it's a lot of money. Like, you're paying like some of these coaches like 50 USD to get coaching. It's like just spend like an hour or two just reflecting on your own games and just be okay with being hard on yourself. But also, like I said, make sure that you're confident enough to stand by your decisions, even if you made a mistake, because sometimes mistakes in Pokemon aren't actually mistakes. They're just a misjudgment, and that's also okay.
Yeah.
Not every play that you make that puts you at a disadvantage is a bad one.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you because I don't know about you, but I personally don't know any high-level players that got coaching. Like, I think...
Yeah, outside of like their testing group
Well,
or
I mean,
whatever.
they
that
learn
can-
with people,
Yeah.
but they're not like paying someone to coach. I feel like Pokemon's, like VGC is a pretty easy game to get into and learn the basics of, and kind of like when you think about a lot of the like Mikhail Kelsch is definitely one that comes to mind, but a lot of those top level players, and even yourself, Patrick, like when you consider like from when you start to when you're winning ICs, it's not a massive journey. People who are really good at the game tend to be good at it from the start. And I feel like coaching is probably good for some people to improve their game, but I feel like there's some people and some coaches who kind of exploit the idea that coaching will help you to win regionals and win an IC, and I feel like it's probably not as useful as a lot of people think it is.
Yeah, I think coaching, I guess I should clarify, I think coaching's good in like one scenario, which is kids.
Yeah.
Like, I think juniors and seniors benefit from coaching a lot. But like, if you're a Masters player, just make friends. Like,
Honestly.
you're way better off just making friends.
I feel like the most immediate comparison I have is professional sport, because like the coach of the Atlanta Braves is not teaching those people how to play baseball.
Yeah.
They're just effectively writing a lineup and backing them up. Those people know what to do. They know how to self-reflect, and they have a group of people that they work with who play the game, who they can like bounce things off. The coach is kind of just the figurehead who takes the blame if things go wrong in those situations. So like,
Yeah.
Even then, though, in sports, I feel like there's a lot more that you can benefit from having a coach, because there's a lot more that they can kind of observe and instruct you to improve upon. Like, hey, you're doing this thing with your foot. With like, if you focus on your footwork, for example, there's so many different little things.
I was gonna say, but that's most likely to come from a footwork coach.
Yeah, that's my fucking point. My point is,
sports are a lot of. I think pro sports are a lot of like people management too. It's like you're dealing with a lot of people who are really good, and you're managing egos. So it's like I think professional coaches are like as much adult babysitters as they are like educators.
I mean, to be fair, if we had more of those within the Pokemon community, we'd probably have fewer people getting disqualified from TCG for jerking off in front of the camera.
Rolling dice.
Sorry, rolling dice. Yeah, rolling dice.
What about Cold Snap as a finishing move name for the fridge?
Flash freeze.
Ooh, I like that. That is good.
I was thinking
I
below
like Cold
zero.
Snap. That sounds like a wrestling move.
It does,
It does kind of sound like a wrestling
I like
move.
Cold Snap.
There we go, we got it.
There we go.
That is pretty good. Just before we wrap up, Pat, I would like to get into a little bit of conspiracy talk very quickly. Obviously,
Okay.
The Earth is flat.
everyone who does VGC at the moment, we're on a break while TCG and Go get to earn points towards the 2026 season. And we've been told that we can start earning points in VG from September. Are you expecting that we play Scarlet and Violet for 2026, or are you expecting that they rush Champions out post Worlds and that we might be playing VGC in Champions?
I hope it's in Champions because I'm tired of Scarlet and Violet. So I'll say Champions, just like cope. I don't think it's going to be Champions. I don't buy that because I feel like for an official circuit to be on that, it just feels like really irresponsible to like do it immediately. I think realistically, if we're going to have Champions, it's going to be 2026. Like they finish out Scarlet and Violet for the end of 2025. It comes out after Worlds, but even if it comes out after Worlds, we won't be competing on the format until January. And then they have the next Worlds and Champions. But that's the closest I think we get to playing Champions. I think it may release after Worlds, but it is not going to be the competitive game because that just seems like you're asking to create a buggy mess of like, an online, game. And also, I don't think that that'd be good for managing logistics of majors to have like a fresh game that none of the judges are familiar with. Like that sounds horrible. That just sounds like a terrible idea for at least the judges and the people working. But I hope it comes out just because I'm tired of Scarlet and Violet. But if I was to put money down, like if I was to ask like, okay, you have to bet $100 on when like Champion becomes the official format, I'd say January 2026.
Okay.
I like that. Because I did see somebody point out online that the only Pokemon game that hasn't released in the same year it was announced is Pokemon ZA, Legend ZA.
Because it was announced last year?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently every other game has been released in the year it was announced, including all of the sub-games.
Okay.
I'd like to think that it means that they're taking more time with the games and making them better quality. We all know that that's not going to happen. I honestly think that Champions is going to be a microtransaction-y Pokemon Pocket version of VGC, and it's not going to be looking like anything like this graphics we saw in the trailer. I honestly am very worried, but I am a pessimist.
I'm all for Fortnite emotes in Pokemon.
I also had a conversation with a friend yesterday, and I literally said the same thing. I was like, I think Champions is going to be some sort of like competitive gacha game. Like I think it's going to be free to play with a ton of microtransactions.
Like a battle,
I'm just like I'm also a pessimist.
Yeah, it's almost definitely going to have
Battle Tower, I should say.
It'll have microtransactions, season passes, battle passes, emotes in a shop.
Hey, if Urshifu can hit the gritty, I'm on board.
You'll have to have that sort of in-game currency to buy a choice band.
Yeah, that's my concern is I have no issues with microtransactions if you can, get cosmetics to customize your character and get cool balls.
You're not going to get a Dondozo clown suit.
I don't want skins for the Pokemon, but like, for the trainer and, other stuff like that. But if they start introducing like microtransaction barriers for competing, like, you have to buy a choice band if you want to use it. And it's, either $5 real or about 30 hours of in-game grinding.
Yeah.
That's what I'm very concerned about.
Yeah, so what they did with Pokemon Unite,
Yeah.
you can get this, but it's going to take you like an entire year to get all these items max level.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not going to be just like an alternative to Showdown. But I've dream scenario. It's the new Showdown. It's got the squiggly bars. You can change all your stats. All the Pokemon are in the game. You don't even need to like transfer them from home, whatever. But I think they're going to use it as a cash cow. That's me personally.
100%.
Yeah. Oh well, it's the game we play.
The game we
It'd be
love.
all right if I was
The
winning.
game we may soon stop playing.
It'd be all right if we were winning ICs and getting prize money.
Would, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, Pat, thank you so much for your time this evening for us, this morning for yourself. We just want to see,
Yeah, thank you.
without giving away anything, if you don't want to give away who you're working with for Worlds, any shout outs that you want to give?
I'll just give like generic shout outs. Shout outs to my family, shout outs to my girlfriend and AB. Thank you for always supporting me. Shout out to, my closest friends that are also not Pokemon friends. Logan, Rhett, Colby, appreciate you guys. Just generic shout outs work for me.
Nice.
Where can people find you on socials?
So all of my socials are the exact same. It's all Pat_Con5 on every social that I use.
PatCon5.
Nice. Such a good handle.
It is.
I do love it. Well, yeah, thank you again so much for your time, Pat. It's been a great discussion. Thoroughly enjoyed hearing about the 2024 championship and all of your prep for Worlds this year. Best of luck from the O2 drop to you for your 2025 Worlds run. We hope to see you on stream and hope to see you in the final day of Worlds.
And good luck with your powerlifting as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to my co-hosts, Dan, Chris, and Mark. If you've listened to this interview and thoroughly enjoyed it and would like to hear some of our more unhinged content, please do consider supporting the podcast. Check out the02drop.com. You'll be directed to our Buzzsprout page where for $3 American per month, you can support the ongoing costs of this podcast.
Get all the bonus content.
The bonus content.
The bottom cut.
Access to our Discord server. We play Mafia. We do Limitless tours. Not safe for work memes.
Draft leagues.
Draft leagues. All the good stuff. We play Fortnite together.
Mostly we just share photos of our cooking and roast each other.
Yeah.
That's true. That too.
Photos of cooking and photos of pets.
Yes.
Until next time, friends.
I can't believe we got to interview the fridge.